Life is good 13. 13 love to y'all. You are creation 13. This is Ambassador Adam Starseed, and today I'm gonna start talking about learning what spirit is and learning how to activate the spirit within. This is really something that I have not seen anybody really talk about at all. So I figured I would step up and start helping the viewers, and whoever else finds these videos in learning what spirit is, and truly understanding what it means to activate that spirit. Activating that drive, that soul that dwells within you, that fire that ignites, when you learn how to turn it on. It's from my personal experience, with my religious background that I grew up on, never really touched base on spirit. It was always about, you need to follow this, you need to follow this, you need to follow what the Bible says, you need to follow God, you need to follow Jesus, walk in his footsteps. But it never, and also one of the top things is, giving your life to the Jesus character, Christ character, or the God character, right? It was always, you're giving away yourself to something, but the Spirit is never mentioned in there. There's the Holy Spirit in there, but it never really teaches you how to activate it. Learn how it drives within you. It took me years since I became aware of the stuff I talked about on my channel. It took me years to figure out how to activate spirit, and how your spirit is intertwined with the energy, the synergy, the Anu energy, cosmic energy. If you watch my Anu video, I explain more about the oneness and connection of the cosmic energy of things. So it's when you learn how to activate that spirit, you learn how energy works, and you learn how to work with that energy, with that more energy, that nature energy, that surrounds us all the time. And it was very cool. I was on a break at my work, and I was looking at some of the magazines there, and they were talking about on how scientists are very curious about what dark matter energy is, that unseen energy, cosmic energy. And they were going further in depth on, saying the dark matter energy is not just a part of the universe, how the mechanics of the universe works, but dark matter energy is around everything. Your living room, outside, it surrounds us all. It's that hidden energy, and that hidden energy is what you want to tap into, that allows you to drive yourself into where you need to be. So I'm just kind of very briefly talk about, on what drives that spiritual energy. So with spirit and energy, you have to become aware that there is a connection with energy. Magic is what they used to call it back in the day. With the whole witches and warlocks and so on and so forth, they learned on how to work with that more energy, that cosmic energy. They learned how to work with it. And when you work with it, it intertwines with your inner being, your inner desires, your manifestations. You tap into the unknown force. You're going to be able to learn on how to, not manipulate the structure, but learn how to connect with the structure. And with this, comes with a greater responsibility, and that's something you really need to become aware of. The more knowledge or awareness you obtain, the more responsibility you have with this knowingness and with this knowledge. because you can use this in a positive way and a negative way. And this could be a reason why a lot of people don't talk about it. But it has to be talked about eventually because there's beings here that use it for a negative force. And it's up to us to create that positive balance and use that energy and oneness to rise up into a newer way of living. It's all about spirit now. It's all about learning how to communicate with one another, work with one another, and have respect for one another. But also learning to expand that, expand out into that inspirational stage of being. There's just so much. Yeah, in that same magazine, it talked about chaos. And when I read that, chaos, I was thinking, oh, the battle in the Middle East or somewhere in that area, and then that whole uh, thing in Missouri that was all staged anyways. It just that word chaos came in, and what I learned is chaos translates into a gap. Okay, so there is a gap in between energies. There's no balance, so there's a gap. There is a missing piece or an air pocket, a black hole um, that shouldn't be there. So it needs to be repaired um, and put back into a balanced state, not an ordered state, but a balanced state. There's two different things. There's an ordered state and a balanced state, and we're looking towards a balanced state because this planet Earth, thousands of years, have lived in the order state, with the leaders and the followers. Now we're going into the balanced state where we all are going to become leaders together. That's the key goal. At least from my perception, the key goal is to all become leaders because when you become responsible for your own life and you have that strong foundational structure in your path and in your life, you become a leader in your life and in your path. So when you become a leader in your path, you're a leader. You're not a follower anymore. And this is where humanity really needs to look at this state, and be responsible for your actions, and also realize that every action that you take, even if it may not seem like a good idea at the time, is actually the best idea for you. That's something that I've had to learn myself. Everything takes steps and everything takes time to develop who you are. Just like from my past, from what I've learned as I grew up. I may not have enjoyed a lot of the experiences I experienced, but in the long run, I am thankful for those experiences because it helped me build and strengthen my foundational structure to become the being that I want to be. And that's the same with you. So when you learn about spirit and learn what it truly means to activate it, it strengthens and builds you. So basically, it's you gotta have some foundational structure to discover who you are personally and who you are truly. Because without that base, without that structure, you'll be lost. And this is something that I had to discover for myself because if you watched my videos before, you kind of know my path. But when I was learning about all this stuff, when I was aware in 2010, I didn't have anybody to go by, so I had to just kind of learn as I go. I met people on my path. They may have steered me in the wrong direction, steered me in the right direction. It was that learning that structural foundation, but I had to be that leader always because I wasn't really knowing where I was going because the stuff is so new. The stuff I write on paper, it's not really anywhere. I have to write it as I go, and learn on how the mechanics of this mind works and the mechanics of this world works, and that foundational structure was with that spirit. Because you have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to uh, trust the information that you're receiving, because you'll receive information based here instead of actually looking up on the internet. And that's one of the key things and key tests is to start trusting in this, because this creates everything. Because life is an illusion, and you have to learn on how to conquer that illusion and learn on how the illusion works. It's That's what imagination is. Imagination, imagination. Um, it's everything is magic. Everything is energy, is synergy, and that's the basional structure of spirit too. Is that um, foundational energy of oneness. I know I'm kind of babbling here and there, but it's to learn. There's so much more to things. There's so much more to life. The spirit is what drives you, and that spirit has to be discovered personally, not externally, but internally. When you learn how to do things internally, um, you in reverse. That's when you learn to truly discover your existence and your true state of being is. Um, you know, um, like say if you're in church or whatever, when you praise Jesus or God, you feel good, feel that tingling sensation for a second. But when you step out of that church and you go back to your houses and back to your life, that unbalanced, balanced state of being comes back in. So you kind of lose touch of that one glimpse of awesomeness. And it's because you have to learn how to exercise and drive it always. It's not just about a name, it's about the energy that surrounds you. You have to uplift yourself, learn how energy works. you know and you have to learn how to drive that energy in you. It's just kind of like the blood flow, and how your blood flows through you. Say you start from this tip here, right, and then you got a vein that travels through all over, and it goes to your main blood support, which is your heart. Your heart is the main blood pumper of your whole existence, and your heart's here, your spirit's here. It's the same thing. So you have your blood pumping through your heart, and then it pumps back out and through your whole body. Your heart is what drives your blood through your whole body. So you have to view your soul as that same way. View your soul as your heart, and all that light energy, that spiritual energy, that dark matter energy flows through you in the same way. You start from your fingertip, your light energy, your dark matter energy flows through you, and then it connects to your spirit, and then it spirals around and around and around, and it just ignites through your whole being. So it's not just this physical state, it's your spiritual body, your spirit body. It's interconnected in one. And the thing about your spiritual body is it's connected with that more energy, that cosmic energy, that Anu energy. They're all connected. And that's where you have to learn how to work with that. Because it's not just about a physical state of being, it's about a spiritual state of being too. You have to intertwine them together. It's not just one or the other. You have to learn how to balance both. And that's something that I had to learn myself too, because you can focus, which I've done this, you can focus so much on spiritual energy, the spiritual force, meditating a whole bunch, learning the light language, or just learning about different forms of spiritual energy, astral travel, out of body experience. You can focus so much on that that you'll lose touch with this physical reality, because this physical reality is part of the experience, part of the illusionary experience. And until you put the physical state with your spiritual state, you're going to be unbalanced. So you got to learn to intertwine them together. So I ended up spending years um, focusing too much on spiritual life, and then I focused too much on physical life. So I needed to learn how to balance and intertwine. So I was learning to take breaks, use spirit for so long, listen to my heart, and it says, hey, you need to focus more on physical. So I do the physical and focus on that until my heart would say spiritual. And it would begin to being a long time here, physical body, physical experience, and drop to balance, and then I had to raise this spiritual body up and then drop it back down. But now I'm at that state where it's starting to balance both the physical and spiritual being. So you have both of them, and you're exercising and creating and experiencing both at the same time. It's learning to create that balance without frustrating you or um, dividing that state, because if you're in the spiritual community, Team Light, Starseeds, New Age, whatever it may be that you're into, you're going to learn about spiritual and physical, and you're going to hear both sides. Well, you can't focus too much on the physical and material world because it's going to make you fall. However, if you focus too much on the spiritual side, then you're going to lose touch with the physical reality, and you're not going to be able to communicate with the world, and you're going to be out of tune with the world, out of tune with the illusion. So you have to learn to create that balance. That's something that I had to really figure out myself. And I think a lot of people really struggle with this, because I know I have and still am in some aspects. But it's learning to, if you do get frustrated in the spiritual or the physical side, it's to just come back to your space, come back to your center, come back to spirit. You can also call it a crystal ship, your crystal state of being, your Christ state of being. Um, that's your personal space, and you can create using your imagination eye. Create a crystal ship for yourself to enter into your field, enter into your space, creating that crystal barrier around your whole being. So then, when you need time to yourself, you just get into your crystal ship, or just surround yourself, so then you can be in your space, and become balanced again. Listen to your spirit and allow it to guide you in the direction that you need to be going. Because this world, the energy in this world is changing so drastically every minute of every second, that there is no point A to point B anymore. It's basically, this is the Earth, and you have tons of different possibilities. The energy exchanges from humanity on this world is just, I don't know how that word would be. Just so many experiences at the same time, where there is no just one way anymore. So this is where you have to learn that balance, stay structured in your spirit, into your spirit, and just create that balance surrounding where you live, and surrounding you. I hope that makes sense. But it's living by spirit, helping people out, being inspiration, finding that connection with the spirit and the physical together. Um, like I said in previous videos, when I'm at work, spirit is always my main goal. I always look at ways to uplift people's spirits, to uplift them in a positive state. And that helps them, and also helps me, because be an inspiration to others, you're also being an inspiration to yourself, or you're reminding yourself to continue to be an inspiration. And that all comes from spirit. Um, yeah, spirit is key. And after this video, I'll start to show you some of my personal self-discoveries on how you can activate spirit. Because it's pretty much learning about energy points. Like I said, just like the blood flows through you, and then your heart is the main point where your blood flows, and then continues to go through your body. The same with spirit. Spirit energy point, say from your fingertip, goes all the way through, connects with your spirit, and it just continues to sucker through. And you have to learn how to flow the energy within, to ignite that spirit more. So it feels like there's a big sun in your chest, and you can feel it literally when you learn how to use energy. It just grows and expands more and more and more, and it's a very amazing experience. So I'll be talking about these, and it's not that what I'm teaching you guys is the right way. It's just I'm teaching you guys what to look into, what you may not have thought to look into, because it's all up to you. Like I said, you have to be your own leader, and you have to discover different ways to live in life, to look at life, to observe life, and to view the physical and the spiritual and the illusion all together, so then you can kind of figure out how it all works together. So anyway, so it's all about spirit. It's pretty much just kind of an introduction video, I think, just to help you guys think and look at life a little differently. So hopefully this video will help you guys. And like I said, I'll be focusing a lot on spirit in my next videos. So hey, if you got questions, let me know. I love you all very much, and yeah, it's really that time to really learn about spirit. Through all the chaos, the gap that's happening through the world, the talk about the end times and the Bible and all that stuff going around right now, because a lot of it feels very real to a lot of people. It's now more than ever to really focus on spirit, and really step up to who you are, create a foundational structure, to kind of look beyond the chaos, the gap in your life, and really create balance in your life. And balance is key. We're going through a healing state right now, at least from my personal perception. We're going through a healing state, so it's really a good time to really reflect within and enter back into that spiritual state. So anyways, I think that's about it for this video. So I love you all very much. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, it's just look at spirit, continue to keep shining bright, be an inspiration to others and yourself. So yeah, so namaste, la catch. Love you all very much, and talk to you in a little bit.